podcast. We are on our national travel tour and studio with Lavi Dobrea. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
So just to introduce you to our listeners, you are the daughter of the Most High King for 30 years now.
Yes.
Married to John for 20 years. Mother to Kennedy, Kayla, and Matthias. 3 amazing kids. And a doctor of health sciences, so Dr. Lavi Dobrea. And then work as a medical liaison in the science field. And then my friend for 20 years. I can't believe it. 20
You're
years.
so sweet.
Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. I'm so excited to have this conversation with you and we have so many and have had so many over 20 years. And it's just nice to have them publicly now. So really, we're just going to have a chat. So I did want to ask first your testimony of how you became a Christian and how your relationship with Jesus started.
Well, thank you.
I'm always interested about testimonies.
I love it. Thank you. First, I have to congratulate you. I have to start with the statistics that you guys did at the beginning of the year. The first podcast, I think it was, where you went through the stats from what happened the last 6 months. And you guys were so genuinely surprised and excited about all your statistics. And I was just laughing. I'm like, of course, we all foresaw this. We knew this would be a hit. We knew there was a gap, a need, and that you could fill it.
Thank you.
With just where your heart is, your family. And John got home from work and he's like, did you listen to the episode today? And we just started laughing. We just were on the same page of, I know you didn't see it when you started it. I know you've talked about walking in faith and not knowing all the answers, but how God just took you there. And I love what you guys are doing. I love the generational span that you guys cover.
Oh, thank you.
There's junior hires that listen. There's high school kids, college, young adults, parents, grandparents. You tailor to all those demographics or age groups because we're all Romanian. Well, not all of us, but a lot of your listeners are Romanian and we have that heritage. So I love what you guys are doing. Congratulations.
Thank you. Wow. Thank you. That honors us.
Yes. Okay. So my testimony, I would have gotten saved many years earlier if I didn't want to give up the lifestyle that I had.
Okay. Wow.
So it was a little complicated growing up because we lived in Canada, but our church was in America. It was across the river in Detroit.
So you would cross
we
border.
would cross the border to go to church.
Oh, wow.
So I lived 2 lives. I had my school life with my school friends, none of which were saved. And then I had my life at church. But until I started driving and was able to, or until I wanted to enter that community at church fully, I was always in the world. And so I always felt like I wore a mask on Sunday. At school, I was in the way of the world. And when you're younger, you don't really see it.
Right.
But then once you get to high school and there's parties and people are drinking and smoking and doing drugs, I was always there. The Lord protected me. I didn't engage in a lot of that, but I was there.
Yeah. You're around it.
Yeah, I was around it. And then I would make excuses with my friends like, oh, I don't need to drink. I'll drive tonight. But I knew I shouldn't be drinking. Or I saw some things that you're just like, this isn't normal. This isn't healthy. But that was my life. Those were my friends. That was my community. I had nobody at church.
So you didn't have close friends in the church at the time?
Well, it's hard to build close friendships when you're only there Sunday for a service.
Okay. So during the week, you guys didn't get together for anything?
No, we were a country apart.
Yeah. Wow.
No one.
Wow, that's so different.
Yeah. It was really, now that I look, it's normal when you're going through something. Right. You don't realize hindsight's always clearer and you reflect on it. So yeah, I remember crossing the border and living 2 lives. And then, the older you get, in high school, I was like, wait, I really got to clean up my act. But I understood. Now, I grew up in the Baptist Romanian church. I was saved there. And I think I misunderstood, or the way it was presented to me, you had to clean up your life, then come to Jesus.
Right. Get yourself all healed up.
I tried to clean up my life so many times for years. And I finally realized one day, I was like, no, only the Lord can do this. He is the only one that can change my heart and change my desires, because I liked going to parties with my friends. I liked being there. And slowly it became that I didn't like being there. Like the Lord answered my prayer. I was like, wait, I don't want to be doing these things. I don't want to be here. And it was really hard to decide. And even after I got saved, I was so lonely. I had nobody to hang out with. And so I would still go once in a while, but then I really felt like an imposter. I had imposter syndrome. I was like, wait, I really don't want to be here. So then I started staying home more. Once I was driving enough to, comfortably to cross the border and my parents let me, then I started engaging with friends. But I remember I was in church and Pastor Benny Cocod preached. And when we all closed our eyes and he asked if anyone wants to get baptized, I turned all red and sweaty. I was in the back somewhere near the back. And I physically felt someone push my shoulder. And so I turned around and there was just these little old ladies praying with their hands down. I'm like, they don't even know me. It can't be them. So I closed my eyes. I was like, there's no way. But it was such a forceful nudge. I was like, oh no, I need to go.
Wow.
So the moment after I saw that it wasn't them, I got out of my row and went up. And I looked back and my parents were in tears and my older brother and sister who had, been telling me for years, Donna and Vali, like, you need Jesus. It was beautiful. And in that moment, I was like, such peace and freedom. That's when I realized there's freedom in Christ.
Yeah.
Even though in the church, I heard, again, I don't want to say that this is what was preached, but this is what I interpreted.
What you understood, yeah.
Is that being a Christian is boring. There's no fun. You can't laugh. Everything has to be solemn. You have to be just this person that I didn't want to be. So I started at the beginning. The one reason I didn't get baptized earlier was I didn't want to give up my ways. But the other reason was I didn't want to become this boring person.
Yeah.
And nobody I knew was what I thought cool in that sphere. And I was like, I don't want to be there. But then God really answers prayers. I prayed for friends.
Yeah.
And I did go through a lonely period. Now, my younger sister, who's my best friend, Lydia, she's 5 years younger than me. We then met people and we were in the same friend group. And God brought people into my life that I ended up doing life with.
Yeah.
Whose children are now friends with my children.
That's so amazing.
Yeah, but I have regrets. I wish I would have answered the call. I heard God knocking on my heart many times over the span of probably 9 years until finally at 21, I was like, yes.
Wow. You were saying he asked who wants to get baptized. Was it like a baptism service and you can add on?
I'm sorry, I don't remember the details.
Okay.
It was a Baptist church, so the altar calls are very different than charismatic or Pentecostal churches. But yeah, it was a sermon, a call to Jesus. Like he was ready to give their life to
I was just
Jesus.
wondering, like, did you do a spontaneous baptism?
It wasn't, oh no.
Okay.
And it wasn't this emotionally driven thing.
Right.
There was no music. There was no worship team back then where it builds up the hype and you're like, ah!
So
There was none of that.
Okay.
But I felt that
Inside
between
of
me
you.
and the Lord. And yes, just that excitement. Like you're at your favorite concert, your favorite, just worshiping with thousands of believers in a stadium. It was that feeling, but there wasn't any of that emotional hype.
Yeah.
This is Baptist. Yeah, so it was beautiful. And then the Lord slowly changed and things I desired before, they slowly went away.
Yeah.
That's when I realized only God can change you. Only God can change your heart.
Yeah.
You just have to trust and believe.
And he gives you those desires.
Yeah.
It says he gives you those desires and the will to fulfill them.
Right.
So it's like, all we have to do is say yes.
Right.
Yeah. Your story is so similar to mine. I always thought that being a Christian was just rules and
Yes.
and boring. And I was like, I don't want that. I want a life of adventure.
Yeah.
Little did I know that was just Satan's lies. So whenever, like you were saying, that's what you were understanding from services, he was probably just sitting there whispering, like, this is so boring.
Right.
Like, who would want this?
Right.
And then you realize who God is, and you're like, wait, he's the one that made me. He's the one that made me to desire things, to desire a life of adventure. So then why would he not fulfill that desire in me? You know? And it's like, that's so funny that we hear these lies and we're like, yeah, that's what it is. We determined and made the decision. And it's like, well, I'm stubborn and I don't want that.
Yeah.
And then he's like, but I'm not like that.
Exactly.
You know? So you get to know him and it's life-changing.
But growing up in a Romanian church, it didn't matter if you were paying attention. You just had to look like you were paying attention.
Right.
Okay. Your hair had to be washed. You had to have a cute dress on. You had to have your mouth closed, be quiet, sit there. And if you sat properly, not slouching and listening, everyone thought, this is, my children are thriving.
Mm-hmm.
And I clearly remember not wanting that for my children. But you don't know any different. And you know who there's a few people in your life that changed the trajectory of your life. One of them was Florica Herdan. She got married. She was a ferke. She's passed away. She passed away young from cancer. Danny and Eleanor Herdan, it was her older sister.
Okay.
Okay. She came home from college. She was already married. And that's when I started joining like the youth group. And they're the first people I saw that I was like, oh my gosh, being a Christian, they're normal. They weren't walking around spewing verses.
Super holy.
Or trying to have a Calvinistic discussion with me when I didn't even know what theology was. They were just normal, and they were so welcoming and loving. And they found me in my place before I was saved, and they welcomed me.
Yeah, that's amazing.
And they knew what part of my life was like, and they didn't exclude me. Like, you can't come hang out with us because you're walking in sin. And I clearly remember saying, these are my people. If this is what salvation and serving the Lord looks like, and being on fire, being happy, being welcoming, investing in people, I want this.
You want that, yeah.
And I remember the first time she invited me to her house, and she's like, a group of us are getting together. It's a group of girls. And I was like, I don't want to go. They're going to find out I really don't know the word. And they're going to ask me what my favorite verses are. And I can't remember. And I'm nervous and I'm going to cry. And they're going to say things I don't understand, like what it means to walk with the Lord, or just all these biblical terms we use.
Yeah.
That I actually didn't know what they meant, even though I grew up in the church, right?
Wow.
How's your walk with Jesus?
Right.
And I was like, I don't even know what she's talking about right now. How's your heart today? And I was like, I don't know. I grew up in communism. You don't reflect on what's in your heart. You don't do self-reflection.
Right.
Or evaluation.
That? Yeah.
Yeah. So she changed my life, and she was so welcoming. And she was only a few years older than me, but wise beyond her years. And she breathed life into people.
That's amazing. So that's such a great testimony to just be available for people.
Right.
You know, just like welcome them into your home and be available and be there and like truly be there.
Yeah. Not
just say like, I'm here for you, brother. I'm here for you, sister. Like, what does that mean?
Yeah.
Like, okay, I need help with homework. You know what I mean?
Trying to survive here. I'm trying not to get slapped for failing.
my coworkers, I don't know how to deal with them. Like, what do I do? Yeah. Like, can you help me? And it's like, yeah, be there. Like, help them out with homework. Or yeah, let's talk about your coworkers. Or let's pray about this. Like, actually being there, you know? That's awesome. So then years go by and you meet John.
Yes.
Tell us that story. How'd you guys meet?
So, I was saying I don't want a boring life. I married a Christian rock star. I was like, yes.
Nothing boring there.
But no, there was a long time before I met him. So I did go through a lot of loneliness, a lot of lonely times, especially when I moved to Toronto and I was in a different group and I was just working and I had a wonderful job. I was working in research at the University of Toronto. Loved what I did, but I had no social life. I had nobody. Mm-hmm. But thank goodness my friends in Detroit, they were solid, and we would, I would drive 4 hours there, see them for the weekend, come back. So there was a long period before I met John. But I met him through Charity Cup.
Okay.
So we used to have these meetings in January, February, or springtime.
What is Charity Cup, by the way?
This is the best. Okay. So Charity Cup is a nonprofit Christian organization. It's all about evangelism. Mm-hmm. It was started by Danny Herdan and Dani Bora, and they were in the same youth group as me. Once I found my people, they started a ministry raising money for orphans with a soccer tournament.
Wow,
and
awesome.
Yeah, and from there it flourished. And again, I always tell my kids, don't discount yourself, and don't let people discount you because you're young.
Yeah,
those small, humble beginnings will change the trajectory of your life.
Yeah.
So mission trips evolved from there to Moldova, to various countries, Honduras, Tanzania. And so through Charity Cup, I met him. It was one of those prep meetings. And the first Charity Cup mission trip I went on, I was still in nursing school. Actually, no, I was in nursing school when I went with Miku Samaritan, and I was helping the camp nurse. And then when I went with Charity Cup for the first time, it was they were doing soccer in Moldova. Mm-hmm. So it was a boys' camp. But they needed a nurse. So I was the nurse at the boys' camp.
Obviously. Perfect.
So that we met there, and then we started the Village Project and the medical team. I saw a need and I was like, okay, this is what I can do. And so we started the medical team. So in subsequent years, I was asked to come to California to the summit and present what the mission is. And so we had youth from all over Southern California, Arizona, other parts of the US come, and they would hear and be interested, like, I want to join the orphanage or the medical team. And so I met him there.
That's awesome. So love at first sight.
Absolutely not. No, not love at first sight. Actually, he doesn't remember meeting me for the first time. I remember meeting him because he was a rock star. But no, he clearly looked at me, and he never used to think this way, but he clearly remembers saying I could never marry her. I was wearing like Gore-Tex hiking, pants, the foosh ones that make noise. Yes. My other Gore-Tex hiking boots that I was so proud of. My red fleece zip up, like that was my uniform. I was a hiker, I was outdoors, and he just looked at me. I was like, yeah, I'm not into this girl. Yeah, no, completely opposite. But I got to know him on the mission trip in Moldova the first year he came.
Okay.
So I didn't know he was coming. Most people register ahead. You're aware they're coming. They know what team they want to be on. You plug them in. He shows up in Moldova. I'm having a meeting with my team. He joins late, and I see this ball of sunshine. He's like, hi, I'm John. I'm on your team. And I was like, okay, great. Who are you? And why are you here? And he says, I'm a physical therapist. And then I was like, ooh, we need you. Awesome. There's so many bedridden folks that we need you. Yeah. So went from there. But it was not love at first sight. I loved his personality. I could see immediately he was intelligent. I could see that he had a solid relationship with the Lord. Mm-hmm. I saw that he was disciplined. He was always early for things. He was only late that day because he was sent to the wrong team.
Oh, funny.
He was always the first one there, helping set up, last one out, tearing down.
Servant heart.
A serving heart. And I saw those qualities, and he made me laugh. Like, we connected. He was easy. He was real. He could talk about Jesus without being like that weirdo. And I loved all that, but I wasn't attracted to him. Mm-hmm. And Eleanor was on that mission trip in Manu Jude. And Eleanor was like, Lavi, you and Johnny would be so perfect together. And I was like, no, Eleanor, if you think he's so perfect, you go for him. But I went to bed that night in Moldova. This was after, okay, it sounds like a hookup camp, but it's not. When we split up the way it worked is we would have a base camp to prepare. Mm-hmm. And then everybody went to their part of the country to do their project. Yeah. And then we had a base camp at the end where we recapped and debriefed, and then we went our ways. So that's when this happened, after I really saw him in action. I went to bed that night and I prayed, Lord, like, he's wonderful. My friends are right. And some of the leaders even said some things about John. I was like, but I'm so not attracted to him. And I cannot be married to someone that I don't wake up and open my eyes and look up at them and say, you're so hot. Like, I really love you.
Right.
I need to be attracted to you.
Yeah.
I went to bed that night, and I kid you not, I woke up in the morning and I saw him and I couldn't look at him. I was like, oh my gosh, he's so cute. I was so flustered. He thought I was mad at him. I had to avoid him the entire day. I'm blushing now even thinking about that moment. And I remember seeing him walk, and I'm like, oh, he's Smita. Like, he's so cute.
I love that.
So he thought I was upset.
That's so funny. Oh my gosh, what an awesome thing. So you surrendered it. And then 100%. Was like, I got this.
Yeah.
I created hormones and emotions. Mm-hmm. So I can work with this.
Yes.
If you just give me your heart and surrender it, I'll figure that out. That's not a big deal.
Right.
And that's what I like. Same thing with Eddie and I. Like, before we got together, I was like, Lord, I don't know who you're going to have me marry, but like, even if I don't find him attractive, like, I surrendered that. Like,
right.
I gave all of that up. Whoever it is that you're going to have me marry. And I like imagined the worst thing in my mind, and I'm like, even that, I'm giving it to you. And then he's told me something that like surprised me. He said, I created you. Do you not think I also created what you found attractive or not?
Right.
And I was like, I think you got a point. Yeah, I think you know better than I do what I find attractive. So yeah, okay. Give me whoever I need in life. And I got Eddie.
Yeah, marriage isn't a punishment.
No,
You're not going to be stuck with someone that you look at and, you think of him as a stray dog. That's
No.
not how it works.
no. You should love him, be attracted to him.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know, around us these days, I see so many young women and young men, they're single. And I'm like, you guys are making this way too difficult.
Yeah.
Please.
Overcomplicating.
Just stop overcomplicating things. What's like some advice you would give them?
Yeah. Well, first of all, if you're Romanian, you overthink things.
Oh yeah, of course. We all do.
You overcomplicate things. You analyze things too much. Some
death.
advice. So for single women?
For single women.
Okay. First, you need to be right with the Lord. Like if you know the Lord and you're solid in your relationship, that's number one.
Yeah.
Before you're even looking for a guy, work on yourself. What I wish I would have known that I do now as an adult is invest in my inner self. And I didn't know what that meant. Like all these terms, like.
So what does that mean?
Okay.
Tell us.
Spiritually, feed yourself every day, right? And it's not that hard. I used to always think that you have to go in this dark room with your, big Bible and all your big theology books and study. That's not what it is. Wake up and your first thought is the Lord. Okay? Gratitude, practice gratitude. Have a routine. So I wake up every morning. I put the tea kettle on or my coffee. I switch now from coffee to mushroom coffee, you guys. I've evolved.
Wow. You're higher than us.
Yeah.
Honestly,
And
I cannot. Much better.
I still love coffee. But I start my day with the Lord. So I wake up before everyone else, at least an hour before. I try to have my alone time. But advice to girls. So work on that inner self. So I'm kind of veering, but this is what I'm trying to say is work on your inner self. So start with the Lord, feed yourself, listen to worship music, read his word. And it doesn't have to be, like I said, an hour long. Like what is that one thing you're going to carry with you today? The one thing you learned or your take home, are you going to carry forgiveness with you today?
Yeah.
And be gracious to people around you, more forgiving. Are you just going to smile more because you have the joy of the Lord in your heart? Why are you hiding it under this iron curtain? Like,
smile.
Yeah, it's okay.
Be welcoming.
Yeah. So work on your inner self.
Yeah.
That also includes your physical strength. What are you putting in your body? Like strengthen yourself. This is when you have to get strong because life does get hard. Making a human and bearing children is physically hard. Even after you birth them, you have to bend down, pick them up, sleepless nights, like work on your inner self. It's not the exterior. And like I was mentioning earlier, sitting in church looking perfect, that's not the key. Work on your inner self, be strong, healthy, and then pray for good friendships. Yes, your circle of friends will make or break you. Surround yourself with people who are God-fearing and who you get along with and who speak life into you. And even that term, speak life into you, I didn't know what that meant. Florica was the first one who saw me and saw things in me and encouraged me the way I'd never heard before.
She saw those things and said them out loud.
Yeah, and said them to me. And I was like, wait, are you talking to me? Like, that's not, you don't know me. If you knew my heart and how much anger I have and hatred towards certain things that happen in life, you wouldn't be saying that. So yeah, surround yourself with people, be involved in your church, get to know people, everybody, all ages.
Yeah.
It could be, the single mom that you're saying hi to every week in your church, or the little old lady. You never know, they might have a really cute grandson. And I know this sounds crazy, but that's where you meet people.
Yeah.
Okay. Like
it's not just on your couch.
Yes. Oh yeah. No, please don't wait for your night, to come
barge
to your door and then you're sitting there perfect. I don't think that's what the verse means about the lampstands. That's not, I think it means being prepared.
Yeah.
Like I was saying, take care of yourself, be strong. Also work on your inside. Like, what do you want to do in life? If there's something you're working towards, finish your schooling. Finish these things, work on yourself. You will never again in your life will you have the time where you are number one, meaning that you can focus on yourself and you don't have a husband to care for or children. So work on yourself and put yourself out there. Go to conventions. Go on a mission trip.
Yes. You were saying like, it sounds like a hookup, but you know what? Where else are you going to find people that are as dedicated to the Lord as you are?
Yes.
Enough to go on a mission trip and to see like someone's true heart.
Yes.
Because believe you me, mission trips are not easy. They are difficult. There's a lot of things that the Lord works out in ourselves, and it stretches you, and it's stretching the other person. Everyone that's there is like putting in maximum effort.
Yeah.
And a lot is happening. So yeah, go meet people there that are like-minded.
Yeah.
Like, why not?
Yep.
What's wrong with that? It's funny. It's like, yeah, we want to get married, but like, I don't want to like let people know.
Yes.
Is it a secret? Why is this a secret? Do you
drives
want to
me
get
nuts.
married or not?
Yes.
Like, be open about that. Like, yeah, I want to get married.
Making it known that you are ready to get married is not being desperate.
No.
It's not putting a neon sign on your forehead saying, I'll take any comer.
Right.
It's not. But it's the way you carry yourself. Like you have to be solid with the Lord and be happy with who you are and project joy. You can't walk around grumpy, miserable, lost, lonely, and expect some guy to come to you and save you. That's not how it works.
No.
You need to be ready. You need to love life. You need to be serving. You need to be smiling. You need to be out there genuinely smiling.
Right. Not those fake ones.
Right. But you need to people are drawn to the light.
Yeah.
And how many times has an unbeliever asked you, why are you always like, where's this joy and this optimism or happiness coming from? Like, I've known you for years, and
how can you keep going?
What is that in you?
Yeah.
People see that. And just like that, the opposites attract. You're attracted to light. Like you want to be with someone who's joyous.
Yeah.
You don't want someone who's grumpy and you're going to come home at the end of the day and see your super grumpy spouse. That's not how it works.
That's not something people envision. Like, oh, let me go find someone that is just not open.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I see a lot of young people nowadays. They're like, well, no one comes up to me.
Right.
I'm like, no one comes up to you. Well, how are you projecting?
Right.
Like, what are you putting out there? Half the time they're wearing things I'm like, I can't tell if you're a boy or a girl at this point. Like, it's all baggy. There's no form or shape to be seen. It looks like you put minimum effort forward.
Right.
And then it's like, well, why doesn't someone just approach me? And I'm like,
right.
But you didn't put any effort forward. You're not saying, hi, I'm open.
Right.
Like, be approachable. I think that is, I heard recently, like that is the biggest factor of like whether or not someone is going to be
100%.
in a relationship or not, if they're approachable.
Right.
Like, are you saying like, hi, let's talk?
Yeah.
Like with the way that your mannerisms are, your body language, the way you're dressing.
Yeah.
I'm not saying like go dress inappropriately. Who wants that? That's another turnoff. I'm saying the way you dress says, come approach me or stay away. I'm just trying to be comfy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, oh, I'm not in a place right now for you to come talk to me.
Right. Be approachable and presentable.
Yeah.
And I understand what you're saying. It's not the stuff that we think guys like, they don't like. They don't care what brand your clothes are.
No.
They don't care if it's high end or Target.
No.
Target or Goodwill.
Store.
That's not what they care about. Is your hair clean?
Yeah.
Most guys like long hair. Is your hair clean and nice? Or is it in a ratty bun and it looks like you've been running around and haven't brushed your hair or washed it in 3 days?
Yeah.
Okay. Is your face clean? Like bare minimal. They don't like all the big eyeshadow and the fake eyelashes, which by the way, I tried to wear fake eyelashes for this podcast. It didn't work out.
The Lord knew.
That's
it's not
what
needed.
they're into. They're not into like flashy, showy. They're into natural beauty. Most men.
Yeah.
I'm generalizing now, but they're into that clean, natural beauty. Like, are you radiating? And what are you wearing?
Yeah. I know that might sound like controversial. Like, how dare we put so much emphasis on what someone wears? God made us the way that we are.
Right.
So men are visual.
Right.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong with that.
It's not like, oh, they're so superficial. It's like, no, that's
a great thing.
literally how God made them.
Yeah.
Is this someone I can like have children with? Are they healthy?
Right.
Are they like taking care of themselves? Do they have, some consideration about their own bodies?
Right.
And it's like, yeah,
right.
That makes sense. And then us women, we look at like potential, like could they, provide for a family?
Right.
And it's like, for us, it's not as much visual, but it's still visual. Like if someone is a complete slob, you're not going to be like, okay, well, there's potential.
No.
You know what I mean? So yeah, there can't be double standards here.
No.
We too look at the outside. Well, what are you going to see first? You're not going to see their personality
Right.
from across the room. Like, wow.
Oh no.
You know?
So you're going to be at a convention, a Romanian convention with 1,000 youth, and you think he's going to come across to you with your tie-dye and your hoodie and your Hollister camouflage gear and your sweatpants that are, your dad's size. There's nothing wrong with that. There's a time and a place for that.
Right.
But be presentable, be approachable. Put yourself out there. Don't just be in your tiny little circle. Don't give weird looks across the room. Be normal.
Yes.
You don't be winking across the church, but also don't be frowning and like,
Right.
people from just be normal.
Mean mugging people. Like, why? Be approachable.
Right.
I think that's one of the biggest things women don't understand. Guys just are looking like, is there an opportunity? Right. And if there is an opportunity, like that woman smiling at me,
Yeah.
I find her attractive from, across the room, because that's all I know.
Yeah.
I'm just seeing her across the room. Maybe I'll go over there and say hello, because she looks like someone that would say hello to me if I said hello back. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. So, we're taught as women, you don't need to chase guys. They'll come to you, but
right.
Open it up. So here's a clear example, right? You're in a circle with your girlfriends after church and you're physically in a circle talking. It's okay to look over at a group of guys over there and then open your circle. Like somebody step away and be like, hi, and wave. There's nothing wrong with that. That tells them, oh, we can go over there and talk to them. Mm-hmm. There's nothing wrong with that. Like you should be talking to the opposite sex. You should know how to carry a conversation and not think, oh, this person thinks I want to marry them or vice versa. They want to marry me because they came and introduced themselves. Mm-hmm. It's not how it works. You don't need to put out your resume to convince a guy to like you, nor do you need to chase a guy.
Right.
It'll happen. Just be normal, have a conversation. Ask him about himself. Oh, you're new to our church. Where are you from? Tell me about your faith. Like, there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Engage.
Exactly. Engage. Be inquisitive.
Before you get engaged.
Oh, all day. So, it's just be welcoming, I think, is what the main point is. And it's not that hard. I think people just overly spiritualize it. Like, oh, well, I need to hear from a prophet, or the Lord himself needs to come down and say, marry this one. He will never do that.
Right.
He will never do that.
Right.
God is not a God that forces us into situations.
Yeah.
He gives us opportunities and we make choices. Yeah. And the person you marry is the right person. You know why? You're going to make it work.
Right.
Whoever you marry, you're going to make it work. You know how I know? There's literally people that I've never met and they were matchmate or whatever that's called, prearranged. Yeah. And then guess what? They've been married 50 years and they're happy.
Right.
And I'm like, wait, so it's not choosing that makes it or breaks it. It's the work.
Yeah.
Like not like work as in, oh my God, this is the worst thing in my life. It's like you have to put an effort.
Yes.
Like you have to wake up every morning and choose, we're going to choose us.
Yeah.
Like what's best for us, for our family.
Yeah.
Not like, I'm not saying you wake up every day and just sacrifice yourself and what does this other person need from me? It's like, no, like what's going to make our family flourish? You know what I mean? And so you put in that effort every day and that's what makes it work.
Right.
Like it's not, I made the wrong choice. Now nothing will work. It's like, nope. The choice you make is the one you made for life. Now make it work.
Right.
Make it beautiful.
Yeah. The effort doesn't just stop there. And it's not the effort. I don't know why as women, we think that after you're married, only the guy has to keep working for it. Like you could just let yourself go. You could just be a slob. You could not clean the house. But you touched on something that I know we've talked about many times over the years. How many young women have we had come to us for advice on relationships or saying, I think I like this person. And then they're waiting for heaven to open up and this lightning to come down through the clouds and strike them and say, this is the one. They're waiting for confirmation at a study and said that someone spoke in tongues and gave them the word that this is the person. And I always just look at them like, they asked me, how did you know John was the one? Easy. I had peace in my heart. Mm-hmm. Did I feel safe around him? And all those attributes and characteristics I mentioned about him, he had that. He had integrity. He was solid with the Lord. I didn't have to worry about that. But I had a peace when I was around him. How does that person make you feel when you're around them?
Yeah.
Like, do you feel at ease?
Yeah, comfortable.
Do you feel happy? Mm-hmm. Do you feel encouraged about life? Or do you feel like it's doomsday and he's
Anxious?
anxious.
Yeah.
Or do you feel annoyed? Like the way he talks and breathes and chews, does that annoy you? It's those little.
It's not going to get better after you get married. That would not go away. So if he annoys you now,
Right.
answer.
But I tell girls, like, do your parents approve of him? What do your friends think? Does he fit into your life?
Yeah.
You know, what are his plans for what lifestyle did he share with you that he wants? Does he want to be a missionary, but you know clearly you're not called into missions? You might not be compatible, or vice versa.
Right.
But you don't have to overcomplicate or over spiritualize it. Do you have that peace with the Lord? Have you prayed about it? And do you have peace? Does the Lord keep opening doors and you guys are growing in your relationship? Or is it petering out on its own? Or did he find someone else? Like, those are clear answers. It doesn't have to be these grandiose, crazy experiences, emotional experiences.
Yeah. And everyone that you're going to meet and potentially say go out on a coffee date or something doesn't mean you're going to get married.
Yes.
Like, don't start fantasizing like we're gonna have 4 kids and we're gonna live
write his last name.
No, don't. Like,
I'm gonna write Lavi and then Dobrea and see how that looks. You can do that when you're engaged, okay?
Yeah, exactly. I didn't even practice. I didn't even know how to spell Sfrengeu for the longest time. It took me forever. I'm like, dear Lord. I thought I was gonna change my last name from Ujvat, which was hard already, to like an easier name when I got married.
Yeah.
No, not my case. So yeah, that took me forever. But don't fantasize about those things. Like, that's what the Bible says about taking those thoughts captive.
Right.
Because who are you to like know whether you're actually going to be married or not? And then you might be fantasizing about someone else's husband. That's awkward.
Right.
You know, and it's like, oh, well, the breakup was so hard. It's like, why was it so hard?
Right.
Like, it should be like, oh, we're just not compatible.
Right. And don't badmouth him or talk to your friends that, he tried to date me and now he's dating someone else. Men should be doing that. They should be going around pursuing. That's their job. They're the hunters.
Yes.
Okay. That's their job. They're supposed to go find a woman. And so it's okay if they approached you and you guys went on a couple of coffee dates and it didn't work out. Like, you guys weren't attracted, or he was really upright with you and said, you know, I really like you. I don't think this is going, or I'm just not attracted to you, or what. That's okay to be honest and say that. He didn't say you were ugly. Listen to what he said.
Right.
He didn't say you're so ugly and I don't want you. What he said is, you're gorgeous, you're beautiful, I don't find you attractive, or you might be a good fit for my cousin. Can I introduce you? We read into things, and even now that I'm married, I will say what I heard. And John's like, that's not what I said, sweetheart.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, that's what I heard. Okay.
And then it's like, okay, well, let's talk about what we heard.
Yeah, so don't do that to these young guys that are out there. Obviously, if they're a player, that's different. But don't give them the reputation, and don't talk bad about them, and don't even advertise that there's somebody I dated before I met John that for years no one knew I dated. It ended amicably, but it's not like I went around and said, he's my ex-boyfriend. And let me tell you.
What's the point of that?
Don't do that. Don't tarnish them.
What does it benefit? It doesn't benefit you, and it doesn't benefit the other person. And it's not even a big deal. Like, you weren't engaged, you didn't get into a marriage, and then you broke out of one. Like, it was just to see, are we a good fit for marriage? Yeah. And that's the whole point of going on these coffee dates or, you know, talking to someone. It's, can we make this work? Yeah. If not, well, God bless you with your spouse, whoever that might be. Right. And move on.
Yeah. And live life. Don't get stuck in, I just want to get married and that's your goal in life. No, work on yourself. Like I was saying, travel. If you like to travel the whole world. And my parents encouraged us when we were younger. They told us this all the time. When you're young and healthy, go travel the world if that's what you want to do. If you want to study, go study, do all these things, grow as a person and who you are. See what you like, what you don't like. How do you know if you don't go out there? Right. How do you know if he's the one for you if you haven't given him a chance? Yeah. Now, obviously, if he's really weird and you just know, like, there's some hard lines that you know, you could respect and be polite when you decline. Right. Or the other caveat is, how many girls do we know that are just wonderful? They're involved in leadership. They're on the worship team. They're intelligent. They're educated. And nobody asks them out. Well, you might have to go into another pond. Like we were saying, go to another church. Yeah. Volunteering is the best way.
Yeah. And just like I said before, make sure you're not intimidating. Yeah. Or the way your face portrays is not off-putting. People don't realize, like, sometimes the way I'm just sitting here might not be the most welcoming. Like, put some effort forward and make sure you're smiling.
Yeah.
And
As Romanians, yeah, we tend to be misread.
yes.
I have a boss who used to say, Lavinia, why are you so upset? Why are you so upset? I have this crack here. And I was like, when I'm concentrating, it's accentuated. He
It's being
interprets my
mad or
resting
sad.
face as being upset. And I'm like, Giuseppe, I'm not upset. I'm so happy.
So that's just heritage. Our heritage
Yes.
is not, well, I mean, thinking back in communism, you weren't smiling much, first of all.
Right.
There
At
wasn't
different
much,
times.
to smile. And then you were actually raised to think that if you're a serious person, that's important. Like you
Right.
should be serious. You shouldn't be like smiley all the time. What are you smiling about? That's like fake.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, okay, so that's our heritage. But here we're in a different place now. Like you have things to be joyful for. Let that show, be welcoming. It's not that hard. Just smile, Well, I did want to also ask, because you're a mother of 3 and they're amazing. Like, how old is Kennedy now?
All right. So last
She
week,
18, 19.
she was doing homework. She was studying in the dining room. And I went up to her and I said, Kennedy, did you know you're going to be 18 this year? She looked at me and she said, yes, Mom, I know that. I'm like, I didn't know. You're going to be 18 and that's a few months away.
Oh my
You were
gosh.
just in kindergarten yesterday.
Yeah.
And we're going to have an adult in the house.
Another adult. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's amazing. And she's amazing. I
Yeah.
love her.
No.
She's so well-rounded,
Yeah.
so kind. How did you raise such amazing kids? Like, what was your guys' focus?
I know people say this, but it's really God's grace. He covers your shortcomings. And I intentionally prayed about that, right? I was raised in one way and there were certain things I did not want. I knew from a young age, I do not want my life to be like our current home life when I was younger.
Okay.
I do not want to be walking around eggshells around a parent. I do not want to always worry about money. And it wasn't that my parents did something wrong. They were new to a country, right? They're paying bills, they're surviving.
Yeah.
We always had a home. They were actually homeowners many times over and over. So they were successful. But I remember thinking, I don't want to argue about money. I don't want to live paycheck to paycheck.
Yeah.
And so there were certain things that, I wanted for our kids. So I prayed a lot about that. So this is what I tell my kids. Kennedy's my life because she changed my life, right? Becoming a new parent, she changes your life. Kayla's our joy. She came a year and 2 weeks after Kennedy was born and brought this
So
joy and
close.
laughter into our home that we didn't know was possible when we're already so tired with an infant. And Matthias is my heart because I didn't know I could still love so much on a third child.
That's so sweet.
We were very intentional when they were young. So John and I were both born in Romania. But I mean, I left Romania when I think I was 4 or 5.
Mm-hmm.
And by the time, after a year in the immigration camp, and by the time we got to Canada, I was basically raised in Canada. So I never really lived in Romania that I have a recollection.
Yeah.
However, when we got married, I looked at John and I said, we have to teach our children Romanian. We're ripping them off of their heritage. Well, I hadn't really spoken Romanian since I was a child. I mean, I went to a Romanian church. I can understand it. But speaking or reading, I didn't do that. So when we were pregnant with Kennedy, I said, that's it. We're only speaking Romanian to each other.
That's awesome.
Okay, do you know how hard it was? I was like, pace frate. That's what I said to my husband, okay?
Joel's like, okay, is that all you know? And you're like,
So we intentionally spoke only Romanian to them.
Wow.
That was their first language. They went to school, especially Kennedy, not knowing a lick of English.
I remember that.
Yeah. She had the strongest accent, Romanian accent. And my father-in-law is amazing. He taught her all these poesie really long in Romanian, and she memorized them with words that I don't even really know what they mean. I know table Romanian,
Right.
but I don't really know
That's all
Romanian
of
like
us, a lot of us,
scholastic.
yeah.
Yeah. So she went to school her first day at kindergarten. She came home. I said, Kennedy, how was school? She's your first child, typical like personality. And she came home. She goes, Mommy, it was fun. Dar toți copiii sunt proști. N-au înțeles nimic ce am zis.
Yeah, they didn't understand me at all. You're like, you speak another language.
So we were very intentional about being Romanian. We were very intentional about regularly going to church. I think it's heartbreaking, parents get to an age where their child can decide if they're going to church or not. And I remember hearing stories of parents where they started taking them later. No, they need to know Sunday is the day for the Lord. We're going to church. And it doesn't mean we're believers only on Sunday and we
neglect the rest, right?
Yeah. but you set aside that day.
Yeah.
So as exhausting as it was to take 3 babies to church every Sunday morning and every Sunday night, and we didn't really have a nursery back then, you need to do that for your children. They need to know you wake up Sunday, we're going to church.
Yep.
And Sunday night, we were going to church. So we were very intentional about that. I spent as much time as I could with them and left the cleaning for them when they went to bed, especially because I worked full time.
Right. Yeah, that's the other thing. I remember you always working, but always being available.
Yeah.
Like so involved in everything.
Yeah. And I went through a lot of mom guilt at certain times, but I knew I was always meant to be at work. Like the Lord kept opening doors and gave me peace and confirmation I needed to be there.
Yeah.
But yeah, so when the kids were little, and another thing we did, most of their dinners until they were probably in the 5th grade were outside. So I'd put a blanket outside, feed them outside, or we were at the park. I'm just thinking back to the days when they were young and how exhausted you are. And then they get cabin fever and they're jumping off the walls and they're misbehaving. And you just cleaned and the house is a mess again. And one of them's sick and you haven't even gotten the groceries or started dinner. So I planned everything ahead. I would wake up at 4:30 in the morning, make them their food from scratch. They had some food allergies. Then I would wake them up, or they would naturally kind of wake up around 5:30, 6 in the morning. And we would have our time together for a couple of hours before our nanny came. And then she would put them down for their first nap. They were young when I was leaving to work. So I'd already spent the morning with them, the morning, which for them 2 hours probably, I don't know how long that feels for a child. Then I would go to work, then come home. And as the moment I walk in, I'm starting my second job. They always knew my car was already packed with what we needed for the park. And we'd go to the park and I would pack a picnic and we would eat at the park or eat on the front lawn. So just like plan ahead and try to be present. It was shorter times I was with them, but I tried to be with them while I was with them. I wasn't on my phone. I'm bad about it now. I'm on my phone a lot more, but I wasn't on my phone with them back then. We were always reading books, talking, playing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Being intentional.
Yeah. Very intentional.
So like you were involved in their day to day. Yeah.
And I never treated my children as children. Yes, you do cute baby talk, but I spoke to them.
Like an adult.
And they would always ask questions like, why are we doing this? Or why, they get older, bigger kids. Is God really real, Mom? And then what's the difference between God and Jesus? You hear people say God, but when you hear Lord or Jesus, that's different. Do you have that relationship with that person? Or are you just talking about this God that's up here? Very honest with the kids. We're the first ones that taught them about, procreation. We're the first ones that taught them about what they will learn in school about evolution and what we believe and why.
Yeah.
We're the first ones that taught them about the Bible, reading the children's Bible when they were little, all the stories, and then getting to an age where they would read it back, but they're not reading it. They're like 3 years old and they're just telling you the story.
Yeah.
Very intentional about that. Yeah. And very honest with hard questions to the age that you can.
Yeah.
Right. So they would ask me some questions and I would answer it to a certain degree and they would have more questions. And I would say, honey, do you remember when the last question you asked me? And I said, when you get to this age, I can tell you because your mind wasn't ready. Like it's crazy.
Yeah.
So then they understand. But yeah, really being honest, we involve them. Like we tell them this is a family. We're part of open discussions. Like John and I don't try to whisper when they're in the room. If we need to have a private discussion, we're having it outside on our walk or in the office or before they get home.
Yeah.
But they're always involved in our lives. Like we do life together. Laundry, dishes, vacuuming, mopping. I did that with my kids. Like we made it a game. And even Alina, we call her our second mom, Alina Oroshu and Radu Oroshu. They were amazing with my kids. They were a nanny for years and we still visit them and still have a relationship with them. I told her, like, I want my kids nurtured. Don't sit there and try to educate them. And when you're doing stuff, make that. I would leave laundry every morning. I'm like, have them fold the towels. A 1-year-old folding towels, a 2-year-old. Awesome. Yes, they're upside down and messy, but you encourage them. I remember Matthias climbing into the dishwasher to load it for me. He barely had words. John would come home from work and he was so proud. And you try to tell him that I helped Mama load the dishwasher. Like do life with your kids,
Yeah.
not just play, but turn everything into play. We always had music going, and I rarely had the TV on when they were young. I always had either Baby Einstein or I had the worship music going. And so that sets the tone. I'm happier.
Yeah.
I'm more chill. I get energy from it. And I did that with the kids.
That's awesome. So they grew up around that.
Yeah.
Just the things that they're going to have to do in life anyways.
Right.
So that's amazing. Yeah. Not like, okay, now that you're 13, let's get started with,
Yeah, no.
because that's tough.
We introduced the lifestyle we wanted from when they were young. For example, I clearly remember us saying, I want our kids to like traveling. We took them traveling from the time they were infants,
Yes.
like a 3-month-old, 6-month-old on an airplane, traveling to different homes. Even the same thing with the beach. I took them to the beach every Wednesday and Saturday for many, many years. Their feet in the sand, eating on the beach. It's okay to have some sand in there. Give them the lifestyle, like present the lifestyle you want from when they're little.
Yeah.
Don't expect them to be social and not have anxiety around people if you've had them in the house for the first 7 years and just your immediate family, and that's all they're used to. And they're not used to being in a loud church. They're not used to being in public. I took my kids to every church service. They were there. The music was loud. It is what it is. I'm not taking them to a rock concert.
Right.
But they need to be exposed to what lifestyle you want.
Yeah.
And church is part of that.
That's amazing. That's awesome. Yeah. And they're just becoming little adults now.
Yeah.
Like, but normal.
Yeah.
Like I can have a conversation with any of your kids and they can keep one. So that's amazing. That's a good testament.
And
testament
you do.
to you guys.
And you always invest in my kids, and I appreciate that. And then also remember, each child is different. With Kennedy, we were like, yeah, we got this down. And then Kayla came and we're like, whoa, she's completely opposite.
Yes.
She's extremely creative. She sees the world. I've realized that she sees the world completely different than I do. And I learned to embrace that and nurture that in her. She's a musician. She's naturally inclined. She creates things. She made me slippers out of cardboard and some safety pins a dress that was on her doll when she was like 3 years old. Like she's very different. And so you have to kind of learn, don't try to treat them all the same. You try to be fair, but they're so different. And then Matthias came and he's a boy, like so different.
Right.
And my heart was attached to him completely different. So knowing each child. Now you guys are really good about having one-on-one time with your kids every week. I haven't been that good about that. I fell into the kids like I was raised.
Yeah.
So my alone time with them is driving them to school and back, or the practices and pickups for sports.
Having conversations then.
Yeah, and I cherish that. We have the best.
Yeah.
I pray with them individually, one-on-one on the way to school. What went well today, what didn't, what's going on. And we have, even though they're short car rides, we have the best and deepest discussions side by side, not confrontational.
Yes.
Not tell me about what happened. What did your friend say? But just genuinely like wanting to be with them. And it's weird. We were looking at pictures of the children when we moved into the new house, right when COVID started. And we didn't realize they were kids. They were short.
Yes.
They were little. They were in
adults.
elementary school. And now we have a college kid, a high school kid who's soon to be college, and an almost high schooler.
Wow.
But I talk to them then as I talk to them now.
That's amazing.
I don't treat them like babies.
Yeah. They're just, exactly. Like the same thing with our kids. We never talk down to them.
Right.
Kids will always rise to the occasion.
Yes.
So whatever standard you hold for them, that's what they're going to reach.
Yeah.
So like I've never, you said baby talk. I don't think I've ever done baby talk with my kids. Ever. Like, I don't know. I think it was one of those things I just knew like, I don't want that. I want them to like know language. And we actually did this Romanian thing with Franklin too. It just didn't work out as good. He got kind of sidetracked. He couldn't like differentiate. And so he wasn't speaking. And then we're like, let's just pick one.
Well, he's also a boy. They're not as linguistic at that age. Yeah.
And so like we just decided, let's just pick one. And we decided, let's just do English because that's what's going to be most helpful for him. So we switched after like 3-4 years to English, all English. And then he spoke like instantly. And I'm like, he was just confused. Poor kid. But yeah, I've never baby talked or talked down to them. I've always explained, this is what we're going to do. Yes, they're infants. We're going to change you because this is what happened. Then we're going to do that. And I've explained everything to them. Now, it doesn't mean like, just because now they're almost 13, why and why and why is going to be answered. But I'm going to give them the answer that I want, and then they're going to have to accept that.
Right.
And it makes them trust, I think.
Right.
Trust you and what your intentions are.
Right.
So having that open conversation with them, I think, is crucial.
Yeah, and you're jogging my memory now to a lot of things. Like I clearly remember speaking in full sentences to them when they were infants. Like you were saying, Kennedy, I'm going to change you now. Kayla, I'm going to change you now. We're going to go to church. So now we're going to get out of our pajamas and put your cute dress on. Do you want this one or this one? Not too many choices. I would give them a choice of one or the other. But speaking to them in full sentences.
Yes.
And no topic was off limit. They could ask whatever and I would answer to the age appropriate.
Right. Yeah. And don't make them feel bad. Like, how dare you question? It's like, no, I want you to question.
Yeah.
So I can answer. And why would you not want your kids to know what you believe? Like, that's the point. I want them to know what I believe so that they can form their own opinions, and hopefully I'm modeling the Lord so that they would then model me. And that's the point. That's discipleship, like make sure you explain and show and have everything like open to them. Like, yes, this is who God is. And this is why I live my life the way I live my life, so that it's attractive to them. So, and
another thing that I think is extremely important, and it just naturally happened for John and I, we show affection to each other in front of the children since they were little. And when they would see us hugging or kissing in the kitchen when they were younger, they would come in between and we're like, oh, do you want a Keela sandwich? Do you want a Matthias sandwich? We'd get them in there. They'd love nothing better than to be playing, they're playing on the floor and John and I would be catching up on the couch and they want to come in between you. When they see you cuddle, they want to be part of that. And so John and I are affectionate to each other in public and at home, the way you see John on stage with his big smiley face and the way he is, that's how he is at home. He's the same person, like honest, open, embracing, welcoming. He does that to the children every day. He comes home, he's like, how are you? He's excited to see them. And they go through different seasons. Like now that we have teenagers, in the last 2 weeks, Kennedy and Kayla are like, Mom, don't micromanage me. And I'm like, oh, am I doing that?
Oh no.
But I'm trying to impart my wisdom to you.
Yes, they're starting to become independent.
Right. But they're almost adults. And so it's completely changing right when you least expect it. But one thing I've always done, and I still do, I always find women at our church who are in the same stage as me and ask what's working for you, what's not, advice. But I always go to women the stage above me and the stage above that. What to expect when I'm a teenager. Cherish these years. I remember one mom telling me about the car conversations. She was like, drive all the volleyball, football, soccer. You get to know everything, hear everything. They know you. Those kids will ask you for advice.
Wow.
And you can help them. And then now, we're entering
adulthood.
Yeah. And so what's that look like? And I've had moms who've given me some really good advice. Same thing with, one about when they're young and married or young and single adults, like then what does it look like? So I always like to ask advice from people who've been through it.
Yeah. Get wisdom.
Right. And some people tell you the biggest prosty. So you got to use your discernment.
Filter those out. Pray about everything.
The outliers always have to go statistically. Just throw the outliers out and then go with.
Yes. Well, I think if you see people that are succeeding somewhere where you're going to be or aspire to be, then that's a good barometer. Like, they're doing well. How are you here?
Right.
So.
And, you and I have talked about this before. We're both nurses. That's our career, but that doesn't define us.
Exactly.
Being a mom is the most important. Being a wife brings me so much joy. And being a mom is like, your heart is,
it's fulfilling.
Yeah. This is my purpose and my filling. And I tell my children, and even when I pray, I always thank the Lord in the prayer for them to hear it. Thank you, Lord, that I get to be their mama. Thank you that Kayla's mine. Thank you that Kennedy's mine.
Yeah.
Thank you that Matthias is mine and I get to be his mom. Please teach me how to speak to him so we better understand each other. Please teach me how to talk to them so that I encourage them more. Like, I will pray that not just in my own private prayers, but for them to hear it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm so grateful to be their mom. Like, that is my purpose, my joy in life. Like, that's where it is.
Yeah. It's funny. You reminded me of something. So when I first found out we were pregnant, I was like, oh my gosh. So I need to start praying for this child. And I was like, praying and like, God, make them like this and help them with that. And whenever and all these things I was praying for them.
Right.
Like, you do this for them and this. And whenever this happens. And God stopped me and he said, well, I gave them to you.
Right.
And I was like, wait, I'm supposed to be the one to teach them about you. Because I was like, may they know you and make sure that they come into a relationship with you. And
that's your job.
And he's like, yeah, that's your job. That's why I gave them to you. Like, and I'm like, oh my gosh. Then I changed all my prayers. Lord, help me be the example. Help me so that I know how to raise them well, that I can teach them all the things I'm supposed to, that I could be the example that they need to see. Then it changed more into that. Like, I need to be responsible because that's what God left. He left responsibility on us to raise them well. And then at their own time, like, they're going to have to make the choice for Jesus themselves and have their own life. But like, until they're adults, they're our responsibility, and it's like, yeah, you pray, but you better be praying for yourself. That's what I learned.
Oh, 100%.
Pray for yourself to know.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And apologize to them when you're wrong.
Oh my gosh.
So many times I have mom fails and I'm out of line and I will apologize to them.
Perfect.
And that's something I didn't grow up with, where the parents admit they're wrong.
Right.
There's some times where I was horribly wrong and I was like, I was really wrong or out of line. Or I should not have like raised my voice to you or talked to you like that or gotten into you like that or nagged you about that. Like I was wrong. I was out of line.
Yeah.
And please forgive me. And I'm praying that the Lord helps me better communicate with you. I'm really honest about that.
Yeah. That's awesome.
But is it 3 John 1:4? I have no greater joy than knowing that my children are walking in the Lord or walking in truth.
Right.
I always think of that verse and I'm like, that's my job. And I tell my kids, my job on earth is not just keep you alive, but teach you about the Lord and bring you to the Lord, and you have to make that decision.
Yeah.
But that's my job.
Yeah. Yeah. If you can't be like expecting someone else to do that job.
Right. No, it's not Sunday school and it's not the Christian church or the homeschool community you're part of. That's on us.
Yeah. It helps that we're taking them there.
Yeah.
But it's not on those entities or people to do our job.
Yeah.
Our job, it says, parents, raise your children when they're young.
Yes.
That's our job.
Yeah.
So that's amazing. Well, you're also a doctor. Tell me about that. How did you get here? Like, did you always envision yourself getting your PhD?
100% no. So it's interesting. When I was younger, I did really well in school, but I didn't have to try. I just got by my smarts and figured things out. I was lazy. I hated doing homework. Actually, I didn't even read well till after. I remember in 3rd grade, the teacher made me read out loud in class and I would cry. And I'm like, oh my gosh. I just couldn't read out loud. But I was bright enough to get by until I got to college and I realized I don't know how to study. And I remember failing my first class going, I do not know how to study. I don't know how to learn beyond memorizing something for a test. Yeah. And then it's out of my mind. So no, school was never I knew I was going to university. It was just a standard in our family. Everybody, you're going to, university after high school. And that was normal. That was okay. But I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life. My mom suggested I be a nurse, and it was the best decision and best advice I ever got in my life. And then I started my master's before I met John, and it was a master's in public health. And I hated every class. I was like, why? This is like the worst program ever. And no offense to anyone who does it. It was just not interesting to me.
Not for you.
Then I met John, moved to America, got a new job, and I put it on hold for a semester. I just had too much life change to focus on school. And then I told John, I'm not going back. I hate this program. He's like, Dobreas are not quitters. So then we got pregnant, had kids, and left it. And he would encourage me once in a while, hey, you're going to go back to school and finish your master's? I'm like, no, I hate it. But then I found a program that I was very interested in. And one day I came up to him and I'm like, so I found this program. Do we have this in our budget? He didn't even know the price. He's like, yes, Lavi. For an education, it's always worth getting into debt. If you found a program you like, do it. So I did my master's in research. Most of my nursing career, I worked in research. I worked on the floor for a few short years in cardiology and the CVICU. So folks that are coming in with heart attacks or from transplants. And then when I did CPR on my dad and he died, codes were no longer fun.
Yeah.
I used to, I was the younger one on the floor. So whenever there was a code, they wanted me up on the chest and compressing. And after you do that on a loved one and they pass away, that's no fun.
Yeah. Like, no.
So I went, And so I went into research at the University of Toronto. I worked in hepatology research. Then when I moved to America and worked in oncology research, then I did my master's in research, and it was just really learning all the different research practices, when to apply what. It's all statistics and aggregating data and learning how to apply that
That's awesome. Yeah.
to medicine. And then for my doctorate, same thing. It was years later. And one day I told John, I found this program, and he said, wait, I have to record this. Let it be known. I did not ask her to go back to school. But he always told me since we met, he's like, you're bright. You need to go and get your doctorate. He told me that from, I don't know, when we first started dating.
Wow.
And he meant it. And I was like, and I said to him, I'm never doing that. I'm not interested. Especially now that I'm a mom, I don't have the bandwidth. But God opened up a perfect opportunity. When I did my PhD, the kids were doing a lot of homework. They were in higher elementary school or high school, and they had homework every night. So when they sat down to do homework, I sat down to do homework.
Perfect.
Right?
Yeah.
I woke up early in the morning. I would do a couple hours before. You know, when you're at a soccer practice, they always knew games I was watching, but practices, I had my books and I was studying or reading. And so it fit into the lifestyle at the time. It didn't cut into family time.
Yeah.
Because remember, every time you say yes to something, you're saying no to something else. And
Correct.
I don't want to say no to my family. So yeah, it fit in perfectly. And just learning about looking at data in medicine and health, and what can you extrapolate from there? What is important? Statistically, what does this mean? Where can it be applied? And I love that.
That's awesome.
It's so fun.
That to me is like a no. Like you're talking right now, I'm like, oh gosh, yeah, I could not imagine myself doing that. And it's just so great that God has people in every different type of a job. Like even in nursing, there's so much to do. And we need nurses in all of those
100%.
fields. So thank God for you. Thank God that he gave you that brain that is interested in that.
I think it's just when you're an adult learner, it's different. And get yourself a man who believes in you and always encourages you and always wants to see you improve and thrive, sees that little bit of you. I would have never thought that. But with John's support, and he also helped a lot. When I did my master's, they were younger, and they would go to Awana Friday nights with my father-in-law. So I knew after I fed them dinner and they went to Awana, I had a 3-hour block. That was my study Friday night.
Wow.
John would do other things. He'd go to mission one practice or youth practice or help me clean. But I had study time because of John.
Yeah.
Or he would take them to the park for a 2-hour block and out to lunch. And I knew that I could finish my paper. So I had regimented times.
Yeah.
And I woke up a couple hours before work and did it then, or late at night. But get yourself a man who believes in you and wants to see you grow in multiple ways, obviously spiritually.
Yeah.
But just see you flourish in different ways, and even things that you don't even see in yourself.
Yeah. Trust him.
I had a few teachers tell me, you will never amount to anything.
Wow. Okay.
You are not smart and you will never amount to anything.
Wow.
I clearly had a counselor tell me that in high school, and I had someone in elementary school tell me that. And I remember thinking, you're an adult and you're talking like that to children? Yeah.
Wow. But thank God for people like your husband.
Yeah.
Who sees the potential in people
Yeah.
and encourages you.
And just because someone's an adult doesn't mean they're right, or they'll say intelligent things or worthy things. Like I was saying, those outlier things that people tell you, the extremes.
Ignore those.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. The way you balance all of this is incredible to me. Like, you are superwoman to me. Since I've met you, I knew you're amazing. But like, as I watched your life, you do so much. I don't know where you get the energy. Honestly, like, I remember you had little kids. You were taking them to the beach. You were working. You were a wife. You'd come home. You'd cook. And I was like, how is she doing all of this? Like, where does she have the drive to do all of this?
See, I look at you and I think the same thing. I'm like, oh my gosh, she's amazing. Like, her man's in ministry full time, and they've been supporting, and they have a lifestyle where they are 100% devoted to the youth and discipleship. And I didn't know what discipleship was until I met you, and you guys explained it to me, and I saw you live it out. But for me, what you just have to know your personality and be honest with yourself. What works for me, what doesn't.
Yeah.
I was very undisciplined, even in high school. Like, I would leave things to the last minute. I didn't care. I would change my goals because it got too hard. And now I think ahead, and I'm just planned. I plan things out. You were saying about the beach. So when I did the laundry from the beach, The towels, I would roll them up, and the beach toys, and put it right back in the trunk. So it was always ready.
Ready.
The only thing I
Oh,
had to pack was the snacks.
wow.
And I also had an extra diaper bag in there that was always ready.
Wow.
Right?
So plan ahead.
Yeah. So I just had them there. And then it's easy to come home from work and say, babies, are you ready for the beach? They would be in their bathing suit. Lena would have them ready. She'd get some snacks ready for me, or I'd make dinner and would pack it and leave.
Wow.
So I just plan ahead.
Yeah. That's awesome.
And
Sorry,
yeah.
go ahead.
No. Just being disciplined with yourself too. I had to learn to, I remember when they were young and I told John, I think I'm going mentally insane. Like, I'm so tired. I'm stretched at work. I'm stretched by all the noise at home. And John, telling him, I don't have a moment to myself. Do you remember when you couldn't take a shower without hands under the door, or one in the bouncy chair and one sitting there playing with a truck? You had not a moment of privacy.
Yes.
So then I realized, wait, this isn't my control. I'm going to get up earlier. So for years, I got up at 4 or 4:30. I would go for a run. And that was my time with Jesus. That was my time to be healthy, mentally, spiritually, and emotionally. And I did not listen to anything. I always used to say, it's my time with Jesus, the bunnies and the birds.
That's awesome.
I just want to hear nature. And once you get more disciplined, and it's not hard when you have goals in mind that bring you joy.
Yeah.
It's not work when it brings you joy.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that it's knowing yourself.
Yeah. Being honest.
Yeah. Like, who am I? Like, me waking up at 4, I'm like, no.
Right.
Just, that's not me.
What's your circadian rhythm? What's your body like? Yeah.
Like, I love sleep. Now, I'm not a lazy person. Personally, I would think of myself as a hard worker. I do work and I have fun to the max, and I enjoy people and I enjoy life, but I know I need sleep.
Right.
And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just what your body requires to function. Now, can I sleep for hours and make it through the next day? Yeah. But am I going to pay for it later? Yes. And that's a choice. But I think you have to know yourself. Like, how did God create me? And it's okay if I'm not exactly like
100%.
you, and I'm not exactly like this other person, and I'm not exactly like Becky, my friend. She's amazing with children and can be around them like literally 24/7,
right?
And can't get enough. And I'm like, wow, that's amazing.
It's overstimulating.
I need some time. Like, you boys go over there and leave me alone for just an hour, and that's okay, because that's how God created her. Like, she's amazing, and it's not, you don't need to feel guilty. Like, how come I can't do what she's doing? We can't compare ourselves.
No, comparison will steal your joy, and even in a relationship. And I love what you're saying. Like, you know your body, you know how much sleep you need. If I sleep more than 7.5 hours, I feel sick all day. If I take a nap, I feel sick. So you have to be honest with who you are and how you were genetically made.
Yeah.
If you need sleep, that's really good that you know that, and you honor that time and you invest in that time, because then you can function and do everything you're doing in your waking hours.
Yeah, so it's just being yourself and being okay with who God created you to be. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think some people aren't okay with the way God made them.
Yeah.
Like, I should have been more like this, or why don't I have that? Or why wasn't I raised here? I don't ever question what God did.
Right.
Like, I was the oldest of 14.
Right.
Like, yes, when I was a teenager, did I really not enjoy some parts of my life? Yeah, I didn't understand a lot of things. There was a lot of pressure put on me early on.
Mm-hmm.
But looking back now, it made me the person I am.
100%.
I matured way faster than most people. And that's okay.
Right.
Like, now I can have the fun I want to have whenever I want, because I'm an adult and I know how to have the proper time, to have fun and to enjoy life. But I also know how to be mature and to, like, take responsibility.
Right.
Like, some people don't learn that, and they're in their 50s, 60s. And I'm like, you have to be responsible at some point, And I'm glad that I got to be mature and responsible at 12, 13, 14. Like, now I'm thankful for that,
right.
And to not like discount, like, God knows where he put you and for what reason, and why he allowed the things to happen in your life the way they did. Like, all this stuff I'm sure in your life created you, and you're amazing.
So you're wise beyond your time. Since I've met you, you're younger than me, but I've learned so much from you. So even first of all, reflecting on who you are and being honest with that, I never did that until I was an adult. And just as you're asking the question, how do you do it? You should be going around and look at the girls that you admire at church who are older than you and ask them practical daily things. Like, when do you do your devotions? When do you spend time with the Lord? How do you spend time with the Lord? If you're a hiker, you spend a lot of time on the trails with the Lord, talking to the Lord, crying to the Lord, praying, singing, praising. Okay. Don't put your ear pods in unless you're like, have some quiet time with the Lord. Then yes, there's time for music and podcasts. And I love that. But ask people that are older than you, and don't ask everybody. Just because they're older doesn't mean they're wiser. So yeah, ask and piecemeal what works for me. Who am I? Be honest with yourself.
Yeah.
I tried to do the more sleep thing and it just didn't work for me.
Didn't work. Yeah.
But being really and honest with who you are, understanding, reflective, and then not comparing.
Yeah.
I think especially for girls, comparing is a downward spiral. And even in a relationship, never compare your husband to your friend's husband.
Oh my God.
Never. Comparison will
Never even
destroy
thought of
everything.
Holy
Yeah,
moly.
don't do that.
I can't even imagine that. No,
Or
like,
having,
be happy with what you have. You know, like, you are given so much.
right.
Make the most of what you have.
Well, know what you have, first of all. Sometimes you don't even know what your strengths are.
Yeah. Yeah. And I love that self-reflection. I think that is one of the biggest things we're missing in our society today.
Yeah.
People think that just because they believe it, like, oh yeah, I believe that I'm a good person. What in your life actually points
Right.
to the fact that you're a good person? You know, like, I believe I'm a Christian. Can anyone tell by the way that you live that you are a Christian?
Yeah.
You know, like, I believe that I'm a pretty successful. How? Like, where in your life do you see those things? You know, just because you think it doesn't mean it's true.
Yeah.
And it's not a bad thing to realize, like, you know, I have some shortcomings.
Yeah.
Like,
be
I
honest
need,
about those.
yeah,
Take them to the Lord.
I need God to help me with them. And yeah, you're not going to change them.
Right.
You're not capable. None of us are capable of changing ourselves.
Right.
It doesn't matter how much self-help books you read and how much you desire to be different. It's not going to help.
Yeah.
The person that causes any change to happen is God.
Right.
The work of the Holy Spirit in us brings that change.
But you have to invest in that.
Yes.
So I remember a season when the children were young and we had 3 kids in 4 years. I remember a season where I didn't realize I wasn't spiritually feeding myself, right? I was expecting that to happen on Sunday. I was so tired. The last thing I could think about was reading my Bible. I prayed a lot, but I didn't read my word. And I remember thinking, I'm going crazy. Like, I need help here. How do I do this? How do I get right with the Lord? And I remember telling John, I think I'm going crazy. And I told him this is where I was at spiritually. I said, my goal is just to slide under the pearly gates to get in heaven. And when we're in heaven, I do not want to be running. I'm tired of being a manager. I'm tired of leading teams. I do not want to lead a whole area. I just want to be like, just get in by the skin of my teeth. And I thought it was funny. And John looked at me and goes, that is so sad. Is that really where you're at, sweetheart? He's like, you need to check your heart. You need to get right with the Lord. And he was so honest with me in such a loving way. That was when the kids were little. And I remember saying, oh my goodness, that is the worst goal, to slide in, to barely get in. And I don't want any responsibilities in heaven. Like, I'm so tired. Yeah. But I was honest with the Lord and I took it to the Lord. And it's different. You bring something to God and he will answer it. Everything. I bring everything to the Lord. If I have to go shopping with Matthias or the girls to get something, I want them to look nice, but I don't want to go outside of our budget. I will pray and the Lord will find a dress that looks perfect on him on sale. I pray about all these little things.
Yeah. And people are like, why would you bother God with such little things? And I'm like, bother God? Do we think our God is so small that he gets bothered by our simple requests? He created everything. Yeah. He always has been, was, and will be. Yeah. He just is. And so nothing that I ever request of him is ever far beyond or too small or too little or too big for him. It's
but like, I don't, I understand.
Involve him.
Exactly. Involve him. I remember thinking when I was a kid, you only take big things to the Lord, right? Like if you're under prosecution or something really bad happened, someone's in an accident. And then I realized when I was a mom, no, you take everything to the Lord. Everything. Lord, give me more joy and patience. Lord, help me. Like everything.
Help me with the laundry because today I can't handle laundry.
Right.
Literally.
Right.
And that's okay. Yeah. And guess what? He knew that already.
Yeah.
He knew you were going to ask him because he saw where your heart was and how overwhelmed you were.
But he's not going to fold the laundry for you.
No.
You need to open the shutters, get some sunlight in, put on some good Christian music that hypes you up, put on a good podcast, get your happy face on, get one of your kids next to you and be like, hey, kiddo, can you help me fold this?
There you go.
And make something of it. He's not going to send someone to your house to do it.
He's not going to send you a maid. It'd be nice, but it's not going to happen. You're going to have to do it. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. But like, ask for help.
Yeah.
You know, like for everything.
Right.
He sustains everything, every part of us.
Yep.
And so it's like, yeah, bring it to the Lord. Well, Lavi, it's been so great having you on. And I mean, this is just a regular conversation for us. We have these all the time. I'm just so glad to share it with everyone else. So thank you so much. And thank you all for tuning in to Multiply, and see you next week.